Let's start with last night because last night's game was a roller coaster. Broncos won the game 41-32. Jerry Jeudy returned back to his former team and had a career high 9 catches for 235 yards and a touchdown. But I think the story was Jameis Winston. Threw for 497 yards, a lot of touchdowns, but he also threw 2 pick sixes, which went for 171 yards. So combined, he had 668 passing yards when you include the interception yards. Yeah, what in the world?
The second pick six, the guy got it, and then if it was college, he would have been down, but he realized nobody touched me. I could get up and run. And I think at that point, the Cleveland players were like, oh, man, I guess somebody should have ran up and touched him. David, I got a better question for you. As a man of the cloth, a pastor.
Do we have that soundbite?
Do we have the soundbite?
Yeah, give me a second.
Okay. Because Jameis, and I love Jameis.
Yeah.
He's filled with quotes from the E to W to everything that he has done. I mean, if he was here, it would be so much fun to cover him.
Yeah.
But, David, I got a question to ask you about this, what Jameis said. You, as a pastor, you were always told you can go to God for anything.
Not this.
For, you know, if you got an addiction, if you got something wrong.
Right.
You know, for healing.
God gave you Cade Cunningham for crying out loud.
Right. He blessed this city.
Yeah.
Does this still count as anything?
No.
I know. Hey, God, I know we got problems in the Middle East. Hey, God, I know we got a lot of things going on.
But deliver
People
me
going
from
to bed
pick sixes.
hungry.
No.
But could you take a couple minutes and deliver me from throwing pick sixes?
No.
Hey, guy, it's Jameis here.
God said, Jameis, you're on your own.
People going hungry,
right?
But this,
Jameis,
no,
really,
man.
God had Denver.
God, who this? I said Jameis again. Oh,
I could not believe when I heard it because he had a pregame speech that was also crazy. This guy, just play better. You don't even deliver it from pick sixes. Just play better.
Would you ever want him as your starter?
No.
He's perfect backup.
You know what? I would.
Backup,
honestly.
yeah.
Here's the thing, and I could be on an island. I do believe that if Jameis actually had a team and you built around him, you're going to endure some problems, but I think you'll win more games than you will lose because he's that gunslinger type of mentality. Reminds me a lot of Brett Favre back in the day where people don't remember Favre in the Super Bowls, but Favre was known to throw a lot of picks.
So you mean if you put a team around him like the Bucks, when you have weapons and you have defense, and all you have to do is be a game manager, but you keep throwing interceptions.
No, but you have to have an offense and a coordinator who builds and plays for you, and not because as a backup, David, the system's already set. But run my system.
He had Mike Evans.
He had Mike Evans. He had Godwin.
No. But they had I'm talking about look here, where Ben Johnson said, "Hey, Jared Goff. Me and you are going to sit in the room, and we're going to create an offense together." I'm saying if somebody took the time to create an offense that takes advantage of his strengths, I think that he would be a better quarterback. That's just me.
I don't know, man.
If Russell Wilson can go to Pittsburgh and revive his career, come on. Yeah, him.
That's why it's working for him.
Okay.
All right, let's get to this next thing here. There's a lot of layers here, so we're going to go layer by layer here. Texans Azeez Al-Shaair was suspended 3 games. Everyone saw the hit that he put on Trevor Lawrence. Trevor Lawrence is going to slide, and he continues to go after him, and he hits him, and he knocks him out the game. Well, he's been suspended 3 games, and this is what NFL VP of Football Ops John Runyon wrote in the summation there. He says, "Your lack of sportsmanship and respect for the game of football and all those who play, coach, and enjoy watching it is troubling and does not reflect the core values of the NFL. Your continued disregard for the NFL playing rules puts the health and safety of both you and your opponents in jeopardy and will not be tolerated. So first player, 3 games. Too much? Not enough? I mean, the way he wrote here, should have been suspended for the rest of the season, right?
Well, it's not his first rodeo.
Right.
Like, he's been in a lot of trouble, and it sounds like he's been called to the principal's office quite a few times. Now, if you don't – look, I'm not going to kill the Texans' season, but do it again, and you're done. This is kind of one of those where now D'Amico and everybody's going to look at him and say, hey, you're affecting us now. You're doing stupid stuff, and we're on the verge of making the playoffs and actually doing something. Kind of needs you to get your head on straight.
There are people who defended the hit, saying it was too fast, and Lawrence needed to slide better. I don't know. His head was so vulnerable.
But it's a bang bang type of thing. And
yeah, I know.
Stoney, quarterbacks have learned. We see it the same with Mahomes when they hit the sideline, because if you touch a quarterback, you're in trouble. So Mahomes has learned, run towards the sideline,
right,
and people will stop and then fake it and keep going. And you're like, Coach, I didn't want to get a 15-yard penalty. When the quarterback slides, if you're already in the air, this ain't the Matrix. You can't stop and shift and turn. You're going to hit the guy.
Well, that is the second layer to this. Hall of Famer Joe Thomas wrote on Twitter, "This hit was malicious and has no place in our game, but the NFL needs to get the weaponized quarterback slide out of the game. As dangerous as hits on quarterbacks are, when the quarterback chooses to slide, we need to stop allowing quarterbacks to fake slide or late slide." Richard Sherman has agreed with that on Twitter. So what do you do with the quarterback slide?
You know what you can do? Because I do think that some quarterbacks, and you even had Kenny Pickett, it was college.
Well, that's what changed everything.
But he did I didn't.
Right.
Quarterback, they're smart. Every quarterback is looking to have that advantage. Here's what I would do, just thinking off the top of my head. Okay, when you're ready to give yourself up as a quarterback, you could just throw the ball down. Okay? You can stand, you just throw the ball down, play is over.
So no intentional grounding, no over the line.
It's not over the
illegal
line.
throw.
It just means that you are down right there at the spot where you just dropped the ball. It's not a fumble. If you get hit and you drop it, that's different. But if you're all running by yourself, you can just go ahead. I got the first down and just spike the ball right there. I like that. Therefore, you don't have to worry about, it's unintentional hit. Because when you slide like that, the problem is because you can only hit them, it's almost like the strike zone. You can only hit them between here and here. And if you go too high, you go too low. And I went right to that sweet spot, which, by the way, when you slide, it's your head.
I know it's such a bang-bang play. I agree with that. But I think in this one, was so malicious. The NFL, and with the track record, they had no choice.
So let's close it out with this here, because Pro Football Talk put this out, and I want to know what you think on either side. This is regarding the Bears. It says, forget the same old approach to hiring a coach. The Bears, if they want to shake things up, they should go call the 49ers to see if Kyle Shanahan is available. So on one side, which Kyle Shanahan want to be gone from the 49ers and be traded to the Bears. Secondly, are they going to give up on Kyle Shanahan?
Well, Rico,
because it makes sense for the Bears. They need a coach.
Yes, and he'd be really good working with Caleb Williams. But as Rico can attest, and Atlanta Falcon fans can attest, sometimes he thinks he's the smartest guy in the room. Sometimes he is, and it costs his team. I don't know the relationship between Shanahan and Lynch, what it's like right now, but I think he's done a really good job with Brock Purdy. Obviously, Caleb has more talent than Brock Purdy.
I would say this. I think he could be on the verge of being where Andy Reid used to be. Andy Reid was a coach that could never win the big game. Andy Reid was a coach that could take you to the championship game, take you to the Super Bowl. Don't ask that man to win a Super Bowl. He got a special quarterback. He started winning. Now he's a genius. He's the smartest coach. For him to go to Chicago would probably mean Chicago's going to have to trade some picks.
Right. They will. It would be a trade, yes.
You're trading first-round selections to go back that way. I think the 49ers are on the verge of a reboot, because right now their biggest concern is what do you do about Brock Purdy, because he's going to make some money. It's just how much money. You've paid everybody else. The team is getting older. But the problem is, David, it's not like they're bad because they're bad. They're bad because they have half a team.
Right.
Let's just call it what it is. If he had Christian McCaffrey, if he had all of his players, if he had Debo, if he had all,
they've missed Ayuk terribly.
Right, they would be winning. But right now,
I forgot about him being gone IU.
I know.
What you're seeing is, Greenlaw hasn't played all year since popping his Achilles in the Super Bowl. They're missing a lot of players. I think it would be ridiculous to get rid of him now. But if you're going to send back, 3 first-round picks for him, if I'm John Lynch, I'm listening. I may not make the move, but I'm like, Chicago's 3 first-round picks are going to be pretty high that you can rebuild a team on the fly if you're John Lynch. So I don't think it's going to happen. I honestly, if I'm the Bears, I look to the team that I just played, and I'm talking to Ben Johnson right now, whether you're meeting at some secret Starbucks with his agent.
Somewhere off 94.
What is it going to take? Off the 9-4.
Yeah.
What is it going to take to get him to leave and come run this offense and win teams for us as our coach?
And that is in Football Today.